Right, here's my Flo, and look at her. She is not a queen of zen. She's super high, and she's all breathing her special thing with her nostrils. She's not really paying any attention to me. And in the old days, I'd have said, oh my God, I failed. I failed this horse. It's 9 months in, she should be like an old trail horse. Instead of which, I'm thinking, okay, this is really valuable new information. You know, the fact is, she is up. I wouldn't like to be sitting on her in that state, but it's not the end of the world. Let's just see if I can change the rope. There we go. There we go. There we go. Is Ophinie with us? Clever girl. Okay, and I'm just going to let Flo walk on. There, you see, that was a release. Just let her walk on. Let her get the emotion out. Rather than thinking, oh, that's a bad thing, because she's a bit anxious or she's a bit high. Think, okay, she just needs to get that out. So I'll do, this is Anna Blake leading from behind. On you go. Where you walk behind your horse, it's a really nice thing to do. It's a little bit like long reining, I suppose. And, oh, we've stopped. Okay. Hold on, you got, whoop. Okay, this isn't my best video, but it's quite important this. I really wanted to show it to you. Because, hey, Feeny. Hey, you're all right. You're home. Yeah. She's, Feeny, her halter has come down for some reason. Are you going to wait? You're going to wait. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. I'm just going to keep her with me. And she wants to go. There we are. Good girl. I'm going to hold on to her. Yeah, she's got quite a lot of rope. But I just like her to stay up here until she brings herself down. Okay? There we go. That's all right. You're all right. Yeah. There we go. Because I don't want her to tear off while she's up. I want her to bring herself down. Good girl. Before. Off we go. Now that might be a little bit of a calming signal, or what my friend Warwick calls a stress indicator. So I'm just going to back off, give her plenty of space. Absolutely no judgment. I'm not thinking, oh, what's all this nonsense? What's all this drama? Yeah, little girl. I just create a steady energy, steady, non-judgmental space for her to bring herself down in. Yeah. And she's absolutely allowed to move. There we go. Good. Well done. Good girl. Yeah. You can come with me. I might just bring her in. Okay, she's leaning in. There, good. Come on in. Yeah, good. Good. There we go. Yeah. Well done, little one. This is where you can tell how young Florence is. She's not actually that young in years. She's 7, but she's very young in experience. And she's never been ridden. She's just hung out in her yard in Newmarket and gone on a couple of little summer holidays with her brothers in Norfolk. So she really hasn't seen very many different things in the world. She's only known a very small group of humans. And at moments like this, you suddenly think, for all the work we've done with her, that's her youth. That was her, just like a teenager does, suddenly going, oh, I can't cope, I can't cope. So all I have to do, I don't correct anything, I don't teach her anything, I don't tell her to do anything. Just like you say, I'll give her plenty of rope, but I like to keep her on a certain amount of rope so that she stays connected to me. And then I just breathe and watch and wait and breathe and watch and wait and don't expect anything and don't judge anything. Don't put labels on anything. And let all that adrenaline come out of her. All that little worry where she suddenly thinks she can't cope with everything, with anything. All that little bit of anxiety, which is perfectly normal for a flight animal. It's really easy to get into that entitled space where you think, well, I've taught my horse this and I've taught my horse that, so, you know, these moments shouldn't be happening. And I've definitely gone through that. I went through it with Phoenix, I went through it with Clovey. I don't have it with Flo. So all that has taught me is that she needs a little bit more emotional support than I thought she did. She's a really interesting paradox because she's super adventurous. She's got a steely, pioneering spirit, a bit like the little bay mare. But she suddenly, rather like the red mare, she suddenly has these moments where it's just all too much for her and she absolutely cannot cope. And so it's our job to just build up her resilience a little bit more and give her that little bit sturdier foundation so that when she has a wobble, it'll be a smaller wobble. And I think this is the same as with humans too, that we all have bad days and sad days and mad days. There's a release. Good girl. Yeah. It's not that we don't ever have a wobble. We can't stop ourselves having wobbles because we are sentient creatures, we are emotional creatures. And the world is a tough place. But what we can do is we can build up those resilience foundations. And what are those for humans? Well, a sense of self, you know, knowing who you are, their sense of proportion. Will this matter in a year's time? Quite often it won't matter in a week's time. It's expectation management. That's a really good foundation. Apparently the really resilient people don't say, why me, when something awful happens. They say, why not me? And they jolly well get on with it. And it's not that different for a horse. I want her to have a sense of self, just like I need to have a sense of self. The more sense of self she gets, so that she knows who she is, she knows what she can deal with, she knows what her strengths are, the more stuff she can deal with. I'd like to have her to have that resilience. Now, you teach that to horses in a slightly different way than you teach it to humans. But it's the same principle, which is understanding that you can deal with just a little bit more than you thought you could. And every time you do that, your resilience muscle grows. Good. You see there's some blinking there? Good. And part of the reason I've kept on talking all this time is the voice is great for her. She can hear the voice. There's absolutely no tension in my voice. There's no crossness. There's no, why the hell did you do that? There's no, oh God, I've taught you to be calm, you silly horse. Because I don't feel any of that. I might have once. There's just, yeah, you need me. You need me. Good girl. That's it. You need me to give you the safety to feel all the complicated emotions that you're feeling. And then when you get them out, yeah, we can blow them all out. And then you can return to peace and tranquility. Yeah, good girl. Beautiful. So I hope that has captured for you a little bit of some of the ways that you can take a really high horse and just bring her back to calm and, most important, self-control. We understand we absolutely cannot control our horses. They're half a ton and we are not You know, we're a few stone. So how do you solve that conundrum? You teach your horses to control themselves. And just giving her that time and that space, as long as she needed, no rush, no prizes, nothing to prove, to come from worry, yes, to stillness. There she goes. That is one of the greatest things you can do for your horse. And the more you do that, the more they have that option available to them. So when you go out and something terrifying happens, they have the coming down option because you've taught it to them. And all you've done is stood still, breathed, give it. Oh, hello, Mr. Chicken. Not giving them instruction. You know, in the old days, I would do stuff with them to take their mind off it. Horses can only think of one thing at once. Now I don't. I mean, if she was really, really worried and I was in danger of getting trampled on, I might send her off in a couple of different directions. But essentially, it's just giving them a little bit of space to move, because I think they do need to move their feet when they're worried. I think of that as dancing it out. And then offering them the place to rest. And if they take that, as she has, for quite a long time now, she's still not completely relaxed. There's a sigh. Good girl. Good girl. But look, she's been still for, what would you say, 5-6 minutes. And I'm not holding on to her. That's a completely loose rope. She can walk off any time she wants. Yeah, by giving her the chance to choose the place of rest, the place of stillness, she can then complete the process of bringing herself down. So do you notice I'm not walking into her, I'm not stroking her and rubbing her and crooning on her and loving on her. For this bit, I genuinely think they need space. And then I will give her physical love, you know, rubbing, stroking, scratching later. But until the last of the worry's out of her, I just give her the space. She needs the space. That's her gift. There we go. There's another little release. Now, if I had the time, I'd probably actually stand here for another half an hour. I'd stop filming. I'd forget about you lovely YouTube people. I would just breathe with her. I'd watch all her smallest signs. And I'd really hope that actually she might have quite a big release. A really big, maybe a big stretchy mouth, maybe some sighs. Really working the mouth, kind of big yawns. Because you can see, do you see that twitching in the nose? Okay, that's still the remnants of anxiety. You'd say, oh, there's a really peaceful thoroughbred. And yeah, she is pretty much. But look at this, look at those nostrils. Okay, there's a little emotion still in there. So that's what I'd spend the half an hour on. As it is, I'm not going to let the perfect get in the way of the good. From what she was like 5-10 minutes ago to what she's like now is a lovely, lovely change. And I'm going to be happy with that. And thank you for staying with me.